Okay, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Hope you are all doing fine. Today we are going to continue talking about, or we'll start talking about memory. We'll continue talking about memory, but in particular we will be talking about RAM and ROM. Okay. So we'll talk about random access memory. Now, in particular, or in general, what is random access memory? Random means عشوائي. Okay, random means عشوائي. This means that I can access any memory location inside my memory. I can access any memory location at any time by just giving an address. طيب, this is in contrast with what? يعني ليش we talked about random؟ لأنه if you recall when we talked about different types of memory, we had the sequential and we have the disk. Okay, in the sequential we cannot access any part of the memory at any time. In order to access the memory, we need to go through a sequence. So in the beginning of time, they started categorizing memory based on access methods. So random access memory, or RAM, provides a large quantity of temporary storage in a computer system. And we talked about RAM and what is RAM and what's the difference between RAM and ROM, but here we are going to talk in more details and we will see how to design different RAMs in a computer system. Now remember the basic capabilities of a memory. It should be able to store a value. It should be able to read the value that was saved. You should be able to change the value. This is basically parts of the memory requirements. So a RAM is similar except that it can store many values. Now size of RAM is a little bit different. Nowadays you can have your RAM inside your computer system running at 12 gigabytes, 16 gigabytes, 32 gigabytes, depends on how much you are willing to spend on your RAM. So an address will specify which memory value you're interested in. Each value can be multiple bits or a word. Such, for example, it's 32 bits or whatever, depends on how you are going to access your RAM. So we'll refine the memory properties as follows. RAM should be able to do the following: store many words, read the words that were saved, and change the value if possible. Yani you don't want your again, the difference between RAM and ROM is RAM you can change the memory, ROM you cannot change the memory. RAM, when there is no power, your data will be lost. ROM, your data will be always there even if you lose the power. So this is a picture of how the memory is built. You can see here we have an address and here is the data. The size of the address bus: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the total number of bits that can be stored in this memory, it's 8, 2 to the power 8, but you can see here it's running in hexadecimal. So it is, each bit is 4 multiplied by 8 is 32, 2 to the power 32 is the size of your memory. طبعا 2 to the power 42 is 4 gigabytes of memory. Remember, if I say 2 to the power 32, it is equal to 2 to the power 30 multiplied by 2 to the power 2, which is equal to 2 to the power 2 giga, or 4 gigabytes of memory. So you can think of a computer memory as being one big array of data. The address serves as an array index. Each address refers to one of the data. You can read or modify the data at any given memory address, just like you can read or modify the contents of an array at any given index. So here, for example, is a block of RAM, and you can see that the RAM will have the following. It has an address, it has a data in, and it has a data out. It has chip select, and it has WR or read or write. So if the chip select pin is equal to to 0, then we are going to have nothing out of this RAM. Chip select اللي هي زي تشغل الرام. If it was 0, then you cannot do anything to the RAM. If chip select is equal to 1, then if you put WR is equal to 0, you read. If you put WR is equal to 1, you are right. Or you write, يعني you save the data on the RAM. Now a chip select enables or disables the RAM. The address specifies the address or location to read from or write to the RAM. WR selects between reading from or writing to the memory. To read from the memory, WR should be set to 0. To write to the memory, WR should be equal to 1. This interface makes it easy to combine RAMs together. Now, before I forget, please, if you can go to the fundamentals course over here, please do the survey that is on top of the page here, the mid-semester survey. Can you please all do the mid-semester survey? I have only 5 students who did the survey. We need more students to do the survey. Can you please do the survey? Okay. Now, for example, we refer as a RAM, the size of the RAM is 2 to the power k multiplied by n, where k is the number or the size of the address bus, and n is the size of the data bus. So we have k and n. There are k address lines which can specify one of 2 to the power k addresses in RAM. تذكروا دائما k اللي هو size of the address bus, and that's why you can see it over here. N is the size of the data bus, and that's why you can see it over here. Then n is the size of the data, هاي data n وهاي output, and this is the address bus. Each address contains n bits of words. For example, إذا كان عندي RAM that contains 16 mega words, each of 16 bit long, معناته we can have 2 to the power 24 multiplied by 16. هذا السايز تبع الرام. The RAM would need 24 address lines, هيهم 24, and the RAM can store, the total storage capacity is 2 to the power 24 multiplied by 16. ليش؟ لأنه إذا عندك كل line or كل location can hold 16 bits، وانت عندك 2 to the power 24 اللي هو 24 2 to the power 24 اللي هو 16 mega lines 16 mega lines. فالtotal number of bits that can be stored in the RAM will equal to 2 to the power 28. طبعا 2 to the power 28 اللي هو ميجا 256 ميجا بايتس or mega bits. تذكروا هون we are talking in bits, megabits of data. Now, does the size matter? Yes. Memory sizes are usually specified in number of bytes اللي هم 8 bits. So the 28-bit memory previously 28-bit memory اللي هي هاي. Let me clear this. This 28-bit memory that you can see over here is basically 28 bits divided by 8 bits تعطيك 2 to the power 25 bytes. يعني هاي الميموري لو اجيت حكيت لك راح اقول لك هاي 32 ميجا بايتس of data. انت لما تروح تشتري اي ميموري اول شيء شو بتسوي؟ تقول له كم السايز؟ راح يقول لك 5 جيجا، بس 5 جيجا مش السايز. 5 جيجا معناتها 5 جيجا بايتس of memory. 5 gigabytes of memory. So the abbreviations, as you know them, you go and you find like 10 is kilo, 20 is mega, 30 is giga. Again, I will give you the same example. If I go and buy a hard drive or a flash memory which is 32 gig, and I go and buy it, which is, it says 32 gigabytes, بس لما افتح السايز it will be less than 32 gig. ال 32 gig اللي هي 32 multiplied by 2 to the power 30. okay, الجيج اللي هم 30. this will give you a number. You divide it by this is in gigabytes. okay, so this is 32, this is 2. تقسمها. when you do use the calculator, you divide it by 1024, you will get kilo. You get a number which is kilo. If I have a calculator over here, I will say, I'm not sure, let's do it together. Let's do it together on my calculator here. I want to show you this. So if I have on my calculator, and I'm going to use the, okay, 2 to the power 30, this is gig, okay, multiplied by 32. This is the total size of the memory. Now I will divide it by 1024 divided by 1024. So now I have the kilo divided by 1024. Now I have the mega divided by 1024. I will have the giga, which is 32. This is what you expect. Okay, this is what you expect. But what actually they sell you is the following. What they sell you is 32 gigabytes, which is 32 multiplied by 10 to the power 9. This is 32 gigabytes. Then this is what they sell you. Again, they sell you 32 gigabytes, and this is 32, beside it 9 zeros. You start by dividing by 1024, you get the kilo, divided by 1024 and 24, you get the mega, divided by 1024, you get your actual memory. So if you buy a flash memory which has a size of 32 gigabytes, then you are going to end up with 29.8 actual gigabytes. 29.8 actual gigabytes. And I can show you one more example on my computer over here. If I open the PC over here, this is a hard drive which is supposed to be 512 gigabytes. 512 gigabytes. The actual size that I get is 475. ليش؟ لأنه they did 512 giga اللي هو 10 to the power 10, and you start dividing by 32 by 1024, you will end up with a smaller size of memory. This is basically why you get smaller memories when you buy your memory sticks in from the computer. Now, in order to read from the RAM, you need to do the following. You need to enable the chip select. You need to enable the read operation by setting WR equal to 0. You need to send the desired address to the address bus over here. You need the contents of the address to be available on the out over here. Notice that the data is not used. ليش؟ لأنه this data is used for writing only. Okay, this one is used, the out is used for reading. Okay, so you have something for writing and you have something for reading. Now, in order to write to the RAM, the same idea, you need to enable the chip select. You need to write the operation, put the write operation equal to 1. you need to put the address on the address bus, and you need to put the data on the data over here. Nothing is sent on the output. Nothing will be sent on the output. Now, my first run. I have a meeting later on today at around 10:30, so I will stop here. But tomorrow you have a tutorial at 11. Okay, so we will continue at 11 tomorrow.